Welcome to another episode of my Motortown playthrough. Today we are back at the plastic factory because I wanted to check out how things have been going in terms of my oil supply. And I gotta be honest, for the amount of time that I let this thing run with my supply truck going from the crude oil drilling place over to the refinery and then back up over here, it's really not all that amazing. And I already made a change to my truck route compared to what it was initially. And since people have been asking about the whole trucking thing, I want to give you guys a more in-depth update. And this is also going to hopefully make it clear on why I'm not really in a position to make a tutorial about the whole thing, because it's just so much more complicated than you would think it is. And part of it has to do with not being able to really tell the thing what to do. I mean, while I'm here, I might as well quickly refresh all the trucks that I have running so that we don't get interrupted by them later. So currently my oil run truck is going from the refinery over back north, and we are going to see what is actually loading right now. Okay, that seems to be oil, and it seems to be the full 40 units, so that's actually pretty amazing. This is exactly what we want to see. The problem is, on its route, it's basically dealing with three different types of liquid. We have crude oil going from only drilling to the refinery drop-off. Then oil going from the refinery to the plastic delivery point. And initially I also had, and this is the reason why Jeju Harbor isn't part of this anymore, I also bought or want to bring fuel from the harbor down to the drilling place again, just to keep that stock. The problem is these liquids, they don't really mix. And yeah, while I can take multiple deliveries from one specific type, so maybe 20 ton going to the harbor, 20 ton going to the plastic place over here. That would work if it's the same kind of liquid, if it's both oil or both fuel or something, that's no problem. But I cannot take half a load of fuel, half a load of oil, and I can also not determine what the truck is supposed to pick up at which point. It's just always gonna pick up something that's for another place somewhere else on the route. And yeah, the real problem came in over here because the only drilling place has two possible deliveries. First one, of course, crude oil for the refinery, bringing it over to the drop-off. The second one, crude oil for the harbor to sell it there. And what would happen here is the truck would come over, usually being empty, and then taking 20 tons of crude oil for the refinery and 20 tons of crude oil for the harbor. Meaning that it can only unload half of it over here. And then it goes over to the other place where it can take in the next delivery. Well, it already has crude oil loaded, it cannot get any other stuff, and yeah, this thing only has oil and fuel, so yeah, just then gonna go back over here and bring the other 20 tons of crude oil to the harbor and then maybe take some fuel for the drilling place, so that's not amazing. So yeah, that's why Jeju Harbor is not part of this anymore, because it only caused problems. So yeah, that needed to go. Now there is a potential other problem, and that is, yeah, the refinery is also selling fuel that can go to the drilling place. That's not really what I want here either, so I think what I might need to do, and we might need to teleport over here in a moment, I may need to completely fill up the fuel input of the drilling area. So you know what, let's just see over there how it's going and where the stock is. Because if I can completely fill up that place, then I think we shouldn't get any more deliveries towards that, meaning that, yeah, it can only do what I wanted to, and that's bringing oil over to the plastic factory. And yeah, I really wish there was an option to just tell the truck driver to pick up stuff for the next delivery point or for the next 2, 3 or something. But since it will always just pick up whatever it can, and yeah, that means that the only real limitation is what kind of cargo hold you have. It's really not that straightforward. I mean, I like that I need to come back to this stuff. I think for the whole passive income, you should at least have to put in some thought into the entire system, but yeah, if I cannot really get it to do what I want it to anyways, it's not gonna be too amazing. And to be clear, I'm still not running it for monetary gains. I have almost 4 million on this account. I don't really care about money. I want it to do stuff for me that I can later do some other jobs with, so supply chain stuff. But yeah, first up we can see here 2 deliveries, one to Lijo Harbor. That was always sabotaging my other things that I wanted it to do. And actually it's full on fuel, so that might be yeah, that's pretty much exactly what I want it to be. It's still regenerating a bit of fuel, but or a bit of crude oil, so that's alright. I don't think it's ever gonna go empty. It's just gonna be it's a very long trip for the truck going to the refinery, then going into Jeju, and then coming back down here. So I don't think it's gonna be too much of a problem. But yeah, the fuel is already full, so we shouldn't have to deal with that on any of the trips. Ideally, I would love to have something over here to do with the Jeju Harbor in order to bring stuff back down here, not do part of the trip empty, but yeah. That right now would come at the cost of not being able to determine what it's supposed to do. Also, I recently played around with the UI scaling, so the stuff on screen is now a bit smaller. I just felt it was a bit cluttered when I'm doing racing events with everything being just covering so much of the screen. So I wanted to cut back a bit on that whole thing, and yeah, for some weird reason that I already reported this as a bug, if I bring the UI scale down to below 100%, I'm getting not the map covering the entire screen anymore. So that's a bit weird. Doesn't matter how much I zoom in or out, it's just gonna do weird stuff here. You know what, let's see how much I can play around with this. So right now I have a UI scale at 50, or at 90 I mean. It can go down to 50. And yeah, it's making a lot of things very, very small. And the map is now looking something like this. This is more like portrait mode, but sure. But yeah, let's put this back up to something more. I mean, this is definitely too small, but I enjoy having more actual space on the screen. There's something to be said about games with minimal UI elements. Not that it would really work for this game, but yeah, I think the default might be a bit too large. But let's put this back up to something that's actually usable. Otherwise I would need a magnifying glass. And if we go the other way, I don't know how much we can go up here. Let's scroll back down to see. Yeah, we are now at 200%. Some of it is clearly not working anymore. I'm pretty sure there's supposed to be more stuff going on to the right, and for some reason time attack is now tiny. Tiny attack. But yeah, I actually enjoy it being at around 90%. Something like this. I wish it was more segmented so that maybe I can change the scale of on-screen UI when you're just of a heads-up display separate from the rest of it, because I think the regular size is pretty good for the menus, but I would like to have some of the on-screen elements a bit smaller, and maybe also have map blips a bit larger. I made that as a suggestion already, so we're gonna have to see how it goes. Anything else in here? Oh yeah, I put the moonlight brightness back up to 100%, so that's back to the default. I liked it being a bit... oh wait, I don't want to reset. I liked it a bit darker for just driving around, but for events and all of that, it kinda feels like a hindrance. Managed to get him with a rear fender, that's always a good hit. I learned that it's a better idea to not catch the ghosts head on because they can get below your vehicle, and at that point they may just yeet you around, and yeah, this way it's definitely working a bit better. I'm still trying to get to 1000 ghosts, but well, I haven't really been playing that much recently. Actually, I don't know when I even recorded the last episode. I think at this point of making the current one, the last event was over a week ago. And everything before that, I don't know how much I recorded. I've been busy with other stuff recently, so took a bit of a break. Which might still be going on, and yeah, I don't know. I think at this point, usually I would just go back to the no TP challenge. I actually have like at least over a week worth of footage there. So that's like, I don't know, 5 episodes or something. But I feel like we are going to get the next update sooner than later, so maybe I'll try to stick with this character for now, and then we'll go back afterwards. It's gonna be a bit weird with me being yeah, basically 2 updates behind on those things then. But I don't think it would be a good idea to switch over now, then have maybe like 1 or 2 episodes and then go back onto this character, because I expect the next update to come out within a week or something from what I can see. We're already doing test driver stuff, which is on the Trello, so yeah. I reckon it's gonna be sooner than later. Also, please let me know about how you find the whole secondary character thing. It's not that I don't like it, it just feels like it's a bit awkward just going back and forth. I wish I would have maybe set it up as seasons, but then again, this character is something that I will go back to. So it's not like any of those things are really over at some point. It just feels like I'm kinda missing the best point to switch back over to the other one and then come back when this one needs to be used again. We'll have to see about it. But yeah, for truck stuff, I actually was thinking about changing things up and maybe trying out different stuff, but I'm kinda happy with the container thing. I don't think I need that many more of those anyways, but the good thing about the container stuff is that you set it up and you can basically forget about it. It's making a tiny bit of money just having... You know what, let me show you the routes so that we are talking about the same thing here. Routes like this over here. I think this one gets it from the overseas imports company and then brings it over to Jeju City and the harbor and airport, whatever. And then later down the line comes back around here, and whatever container it has loaded is gonna bring that over. It's not really that profitable, but at the very least it's kinda... It's doing the thing. And over time, all of these places will get their supplies. And that's what I value more than the money here. So I'm more looking for the not monetary gain, but more of a utility from the stuff. And this has been working out pretty well. I have a similar route for the east side of things, which I think is this one over here. So this one actually comes in at Jeju Harbor and takes the stuff from there. And I set it up so that, and this is really important once you come back around for the second run, it starts at one place, goes to the second, and then back to the first one. I don't know how it navigates the entire thing here, and I don't really care about it, but the important part for me is it will already have some container loaded, might come from this end, might come from that one. So I wanted to have the opportunity to unload and then still go to both places to load up again. So if it has the container over here, it's gonna unload. It can already pick up something else, which is fine and good. And then it can go to the second one if it doesn't find anything at the first one. And then it's just gonna come back here anyways. Because the thing is, if it has something loaded from the second place, it's gonna come here, can do nothing because, well, it is already loaded. Needs to go over to this place, unload. And if it then cannot find anything for the next set of deliveries, then it can at least come back here and check this place again. I think with how many delivery points I have over here, we are even going down to Gangyang over in this route. I think it should be fine if I only take one of the places. I don't really need both of them. But this is more like a fail-safe kind of thing. Because I really do not want any of the trucks doing a full lap empty. And yeah, the other truck that I have over here, which is now going north at pretty decent speed, I might add, really helps the trucks if they are not loaded in, because then they don't have to deal with traffic. And I think they're also ignoring road surfaces and inclines and all of that. So this is a really steep part of a route, which is usually bugging down the whole thing. But with it not being loaded in, it's just gonna cruise along like nothing. But yeah, that truck used to also come over here, then actually do the delivery for this point here. So this is both a place where we can get containers, but also deliver containers for the warehouse, which is adjacent. And then it's gonna come down all the way to Baiyang and deliver to that point. But yeah, since it's now on this part, it's not gonna do any of that anymore. I could maybe get another truck in, but I don't really want to buy a fourth one. It's pretty expensive. That's one thing that I'm looking forward to on my other character, because I will try and build up my truck company in a more organic way. So while I grow my own vehicle fleet, I will also then assign a few of those for the stuff if I don't need them for anything else. Whereas on this one I basically already had anything that I wanted, and I just spent a lot of money to get some trucks specifically for this kind of purpose. I was also thinking of maybe doing stuff differently in terms of a bus company. Just have that tried out. I think right now I'm on 6 or 7, yeah, it must be 7 buses with 3 trucks being active. And those things are working quite well, but yeah, 60% payment increase here is basically around what I'm usually getting. It goes up a bit further occasionally, but it's not really completely consistent. And I don't know, I feel like it's very easy to get the pay bonus to 50%, but going above that, it's getting increasingly more difficult. And part of the reason why I don't really want to make any in-depth tutorial about it is because I'm not entirely sure if this is by design and if my 60% payment increase is actually something good or if I'm just really missing out on something. There might be people who have a much more efficient setup, and I think at that point it would kind of suck if I tell people ways on how they really shouldn't be approaching it. That's the thing, I don't know if my stuff is really working too well or if I really just haven't found the one thing that makes it click much better. But yeah, so much about all of that. We did my Stellar Cup event a few weeks ago, which was quite fun. Had a lot of tracks prepared for that. I'm still working on stuff occasionally, but when it comes to the rally routes, I want to get them done. I think it would be a fun event. I actually have 2 different events planned in that kinda in a similar way. But I'm just procrastinating pretty hard on them, so it may not get done in anytime soon. But yeah, that's just that's just how it goes right now. Might actually check out the stock over here in the warehouse nearby while we are at it. Oh, is it really raining now, or is this just another one of those ghosts? Oh no, this seems to be legit rain. Okay. But yeah, let's check this out. We should have quite a few pallets over here. Almost 200, Jesus Christ. And there's even more containers stacked up. So apparently this thing can run full. That's good to know. It also doesn't give me all the stuff, but I think... okay, that's a bit concerning. I think this might be the case that I haven't been here for a while and it needs to update again. Because usually we should get most of God, I hate this stuff. I hate my throat. Oh, we actually have some supply boxes in here. Nice. But yeah, I actually should get a few more deliveries here. I don't really see any pallets right now, even though there are almost 200. Yeah, I think maybe at some point I should shut down the operations if it's filling up like that. I should check in with other places as well. But yeah, let's just get semi-tractor. This Lobo. Oh wait, I cannot spawn the trailer here. I forgot. Let's just get something else then. We really need to change how the spawning works because that thing, basically the Lobo trailer, it's longer than the parking lot, and if there's something behind it, then it's just gonna not appear because it needs the extra space. Yeah, doesn't work. So we might have to let's take the flanker here. I don't have the regular sized box truck because that's just... It's a cool model and everything, but I prefer the flankers. Bit lighter, bit easier to access than the box trailer, which of course only has the doors in the back. But yeah, that's about it for this kind of thing. So let's see if we can actually get any pellets here. Oh. Going to the milk ranch. So at least some of them appeared now. I think if it keeps updating, it should get some more in there. Oh Jesus Christ, that's a whole lot. But yeah, nice that they can now also be put side by side. I wonder if we can actually take the smaller pellets and put them side by side with 3 of them at a time. I don't think I'll be getting any of those though. So let's just do more of this. But yeah, this is now finally giving me a reason to use a semi-truck for this kind of delivery. Back when it was more like 2 or 4 of those pallets, it didn't really make sense to have something as big. Oh yeah, also the power boxes. Somebody recently pointed out on the Discord that these are weirdly light. 5 kilograms is really not a lot. It should be more like, I don't know, 100, 200, something like it. I don't know. But 5 is definitely on the weird side. Okay, and we can really fill this thing up to the very back. Realistically, maybe we would even be double stacking, but then again, that might be more for a closed box trailer. Now we get some pellet beer. Just let me quickly unload. I want to check this out real quick. Oh, we can go 3 wide, so that's amazing. That's exactly what I wanted to see. But yeah, let's bring these over. Also, one thing I wanted to ask, especially if somebody is using mostly automatic shifting in this game. I know that manual shifting is advantageous in some occasions, but I was wondering if anybody would really be doing maybe both things. So auto shifting in cases like this where it really doesn't matter too much, and maybe going manual if you are in the mountains or something on the dirt roads where you really need the correct gear and stuff like that. Because I've been considering to maybe suggest them to add a quicker way to switch between automatic and manual shifting. The reason why I didn't do that yet is because I'm absolutely in the camp of manual shifting all the time. Hence why I'm constantly redlining the RPM meter. But yeah, I wanted to ask if that would be any useful to begin with. Oh, and we're actually overtaking my other truck over here, which we've been talking about for so much today. Let's cut that guy off because, yeah, why not? But yeah, I think maybe just having it in the control panel as an option to switch between automatic and manual for certain jobs, I think that would be useful. But yeah, I don't really know. I haven't done anything with automatic shifting in a while. I know how much the autopilot is struggling with it, and if it's the same thing for people doing, yeah, just driving by themselves, but still having the auto shift on, I think there might be a need for something different, but yeah, as somebody who doesn't use it themselves, I don't really know firsthand. It's just one of those weird little ideas that I had and was wondering if anybody would find that useful. I should really just try and drive up and down the highway here. We seem to get a lot of ghosts. I wonder when they will take it off. I think we might actually with the next beta testing update, we might actually get the stuff removed from that thing. So might be better to use it right now as much as I can if I want to get to 1K. I've also heard that the ghosts are kind of annoying for people, so I also don't mind getting rid of them. They are kind of fun for a while, but other than trying to go for a high score on road kills, they are a bit dangerous to drive over. Which is why I'm trying to hit them with the edge of my vehicle and not just head on, full frontal, whatever. Also, we've recently gotten a little teaser for one of the next vehicles, which is actually going to be a sports bike. So that's exciting. I hope it comes with a more powerful engine. Since I think the 50 horsepower one that we got for the Ganfu, it's not really going too well. I mean, it was kind of foreseeable that we would get something in terms of motorbikes, since they did some stuff to improve bike handling and also making it easier to get back on the wheels if you fall over. And yeah, I don't know if I ever mentioned it, but the whole thing about being able to use interaction to pick up the bike, it's if you sit on the vehicle and fall over, you can just, without getting off and getting back on, put yourself back onto the wheels. That's what that is about. I still would like to have a way to put it on a pickup truck and just take the bike somewhere else like that without needing a full trailer or something. Hey, don't throw that ghost at me, police car. I don't need that. At least unless I can score with it. Also, really, what would be more useful than what I'm doing right now is taking the kind of pallets to another warehouse so I can get more of these slightly more better paying pallets. A and B are still kind of the same. I think pallet B might be a bit heavier than pallet A, but they have the same dimensions, and this is just a larger version of the pallets. And then, of course, there are all the goods that are still the old size, and yeah, that doesn't really work out too well. I wonder if they are going to downscale the crates as well. I like me a nice large pumpkin crate, but when you look at them being the same size as a pallet, same with supply boxes for the military, I think at that point it's a bit weird. I don't know. I don't know if I want them to downsize any of that. We'll have to see what they do. I mean, one of the good things about the military crates is that you can actually push them around after putting them down, and if they make them too much smaller, that might not work anymore. Then again, I might just have to, at some point, suggest them to add a way to put down the crates in a more orderly fashion instead of throwing them. I think that would really be useful for cargo stacking and that kind of thing. Anyways, 24 pallets delivered, 14k received, so that's pretty okay. Might be another good that's better with a more medium-sized kind of truck. And yeah, this is really not useful for anything. It's just making a bit of money, emptying out the warehouse a tiny bit because I already overfilled that whole thing. But yeah, it's not gonna give me any more production from what I delivered here. But that doesn't always have to be the case. I just wanted to check this out, and they had enough pallets to fill up the entire truck, so that was kinda nice to do. Another thing that I would really like to see at some point when it comes to the traffic, since they improved some of the stuff to make the trucks work better, and I think that should also be good for just autopilot driving, with how the vehicles navigate the roads now. I would really like to see stuff like this over here when we have just a semi-truck, that they occasionally spawn with trailers, just to look a bit more lifelike and more like it has a bit of a purpose. I think that would be neat. Extra points for if they spawn with an open flatbed truck, that they have some random cargo. Ideally strapped down or something, I don't know. But yeah, just even if they only spawn with the box truck thing, or the dry-van as it is called, and the tanker trailer, whatever, the closed cargo bed thing, that would already be nice. Maybe the SRT could spawn with some of the smaller trailers and all of that. I think that would be neat. But yeah, I think that would definitely add a bit more life. Just driving past your loaded truck every now and again, like the one, where the hell is it? It was over here somewhere. Am I blind or... Ah. No, that's my Vista. I don't know, we saw the tanker trailer. I don't know where it went to. It should have been somewhere on this part here. Ah, it's coming in from the other side. Or I just drove by the whole thing, I don't know. Who cares? But yeah, just seeing them every now and again on the road is really making things a lot nicer. So it would be nice to have that effect extended a bit. But yeah, they might also then need to change a few of the roads so that maybe the large trucks don't really drive through that. Anyways, I think it's time to end the episode. I just wanted to chat about a few things here and there. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on the whole thing, and as always, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. See you guys next time, and till then, have a good one. Bye bye.